So I am new to live, so just giving it a second, checking it out, and then I'm going to start speaking. Whatever spirit leads, I'm just going to start speaking. So I'm going to stay here for a couple seconds, and then ready to go. My glasses straight. So this is weird. Being on live, I don't know why, because it's like I have a YouTube page. I've been making videos on YouTube for years, but I don't know. I think when I make YouTube videos, I be kind of shy too, because I mean, I'm just the camera just looking at me, and it's just like I don't mind talking about the things I want to talk about, but it's just, you know, weird. It's just a little strange. But no, it's just no, you're good. It's just different, because like I said, from being on the other site, I'm just usually like I just make it on my camera and upload it. For a long time, I guess you can say I was like a smaller creator, because I wasn't like, you know, I don't know. I'm learning how to work this. So just reading the stuff when it's talking about like inviting people and stuff. Like I said, this is literally like the first time. So I'm just learning this, trying to figure it out. Not first time, because I did just turn it on a few minutes ago. But I mean like actually being in here and like, you know, trying to figure out the buttons and everything like that. So oh, okay, I get it now. So inviting is like asking somebody to come on. Oh, no, I'm cool on that. I learned that, didn't do that. Okay, so yeah. Basically, like I said, I've been on the other website. I think I've been on that site since like 2012 or something like that. But I have never went live on that other site. I might have did like a little testing before, but I've never like actually been on there. But I guess from being on here, it's pretty much the same as just making a video, recording it or pre-recording it, then uploading it as a now. So now just chilling, vibing, listening to music with my hubby, my twin flame. And out of all our 8 babies, we got one baby that still woke, because he woke back up, the youngest. So I'm just, you know, patting him and stuff, getting him to sleep. So that's what you hear in the background. But yeah, just chilling, because I mean, if you're new to our page, my husband and I's page, we've been on TikTok for about, I want to say this year be like 4 years. The type of content we post is family. Mostly all our content is family and spirituality. We have our YouTube on our TikTok. Like if you actually go to our YouTube, you'll see like the further videos, like longer videos, basically, you know, about what we talk about and everything, spirituality. But we're going to start posting more on this site as well. I know it's like they'll be a lot shorter than they are significantly on the YouTube videos, because when we make those can range from being like short, you know, anywhere from being like super short to being like on the longer side, and we just never really know, because like I said, they're spirit led. But on here, when we first got on here and started out, it was just like, you know, I would just make something like 30 seconds here, a minute there, and I'll post it. But like we're scrolling down further on our page, like the content is there that we transferred over from our YouTube and put it onto this site. But yeah, you know, I was just, you know, seeing, you know, like go live, check it out and everything. So yeah, I'm debating, because it's like a couple different things I want to talk about that I could talk about spiritually, and I'm just trying to see which one I want to go with. So I'm just gonna pretty much, you know, go with what I'm feeling the most, leaning toward the most. I'm kind of, I don't know, like I'm kind of feeling like seasons, but then at the same time, it's like the first thing that really had came to my mind, like, was being spirit led for me to come live. And before I came on here, it was a topic that was brought to my attention to talk about. So I just go with that. And what I was getting was that it was like about, it was about young love. That's what I was getting. It's a topic that Spirit had given me some time before, because a lot of times I'll get topics and then it's like I'll get them, but I'll get them. Sometimes I have to write them down. Sometimes I just have to do it right away and I'll make videos, or I'll get it, write it down, get back to it, forgot that I even got it. But basically what it was about was just like, wait, I'm sorry, reading this thing, swipe right to get more content. Okay, thank you. Basically, what it was about was like, I was led to say, like, when it comes to love, a lot of people think that they can't find their love young. Okay, I remember now. Thank you, Spirit. The video message actually was for younger people, like, I guess you can say like teenagers or your young 20s and things like that. And what the topic was really about was that young love, there is a such thing as true young love. There you go, I got it. And I was saying that because, like, a lot of times with growing up, like my husband and I were millennials, and I know back with coming up, people would always make it like, oh, it's so cool to just be, this player, don't get a relationship. It's going to be so many people out here for you. Just try them all that type of mess. But the main thing that I wanted to say was that that's untrue. And a lot of parents will tell their kids like, oh, that's fake love. That's not real love. Do not let people give you that type of advice. Like, if you're truly led and you end up finding your soulmate when you're young like that, and that's who you're supposed to be with, do not let anybody stir you, misguide you, or misdirect you out of that situation, because people will try to trick you and tell you, oh, because you're a teenager or you're 16 or you're 20, that your love is not real, that it's not true. And then a lot of times people, when they have young love, they think that they're going to have many opportunities to have that again, and it's not true. Like, sometimes a lot of older men will give men the wrong advice and tell them, be a player, you're going to get so many women. And sometimes you end up fumbling that young lady, and then vice versa. Women can end up fumbling their husband, because it's like, people will tell you like, you're so young, you got so much time. And when I say people, I'm really talking about your enemies, because what people don't understand that in this world is you have people that are your enemies that can be secretly, that can be hidden, telling you to go the wrong way, basically. So it's programmed. When you have someone telling you, like, they see you happy, you and the person are happy, everything's great, and they're telling you like, oh, you should just, come out to the club, just cheat, leave this person alone, you'll find more people like that. Now, the reason why I even want to share this is because even when I was younger, I noticed that stuff happened to a lot of people in my life, like family members that were older than me. And I just paid attention to a lot of those songs too, that would always talk about like, oh, I wish this person would come back. I know they know what it's like to, like, be hurt and things like that. So even me, just like in life experiences myself and seeing things around me and certain situations, like when Spirit was telling me to talk about this, I said, that's a good idea, because if that can be prevented for this younger generation, and I'm not talking about like, I'm talking about literally true love, only you and that person can know. Don't let anybody have you fumble that, because a lot of times you have people that's older than you that failed in life, that screwed up in life time and time again, and they'll be jealous of you. They'll be jealous of your youth, so you'll think, well, that's my favorite uncle, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to send me in the wrong direction. That's my favorite auntie, she must know. Another thing I had to learn from when I was young till now is that when I was younger, I used to think that wisdom automatically came with age. So if I was like 13 years old and somebody that was like 25, 30 telling me something, I automatically would think, oh, they must know more. They've had more experience. They have more life experience. That's not necessarily true. Because as I got older, to come to those ages that they were, I was able to see from a better perspective than the kid's perspective, and realize like, well, dang, your marriage messed up, you divorced, you this, you that. So instead of me taking those type of advice, I took it as them are the people who I do not want to be like. Like, I do not want to be like those people. The pain that they're in and the things that they're trying to project on the youth instead of correcting them. Like, I don't want to be like that. So Spirit led me to encourage the younger generation, or even now, like I said, I'm a millennial. I'm 36, so even people that's my age group or older, it can still go for them too, because it's the same program. You could be in your 30s, you could be in your 40s, and you'll have those same people around you that's telling you like, oh, you shouldn't get in a relationship, oh, you shouldn't get married, oh, you shouldn't get tied down. And these people are, it's like it's their job or their mission to have you lonely and to have you by yourself. Like, it gives them the satisfaction that you felt the way that they felt. What really opened my eyes about that was, like, when I was a lot younger, I want to say I was about 16 years old. And it was like this girl at school around me that, she was like, I guess you could, she was like a good girl, she was a little bit, kind of sheltered. And she had a friend, and she asked her friend, like, oh, should I do this? It was like she wanted to go down like the bad path, or like kind of self-destruct. And the other girl knew that it was wrong. She kind of had already been down that path. And instead of her warning her and being like, nah, that's not cool, she actually told her, yeah, you should go down that path too. So I just, with my own personal life experiences, I paid attention to a lot of things. And that's why on my website, which I have a link, I don't know it like by heart, it's kind of long, but I know it's like spiritual life less so. But basically, everything on there I've been through personally. And if I can prevent things in any way based on my personal experiences, then I'll definitely do so. And I just think that the younger generation, especially, because it's being taught that, everything is just, accessible. Like, it's just going to come again. It's just going to happen again. But it's just absolutely not the truth. It's really not. So that's one thing I wanted to share, was that, when you find your true love, like, don't listen to anybody, because people will try to make you fumble on purpose so that you are by yourself, basically, like them. Now, this live thing is something else. Let's think. So that's something. Is there anything else I'm supposed to talk about with that? Yeah, just be true to yourself. Like, it'll seem hard because a lot of times you'll have everybody trying to jump against you and tell you like what to do, but best thing is don't be a follower. Like, follow your own spirit. That's the best thing that you can do. You okay, Sonny Bunny? You can get up. You can get up. You can get up, buddy. You okay? You tired? Tummy time? You still going? Okay, you ain't tired yet. No? Yeah. So yeah, our website is going to be speaking about the same things, basically all things spiritual. And that's why I took a pause, because it's like I can be speaking about anything spirit-led, but if I've said enough on the topic, then I've said enough. But if anything else comes, then I definitely share it. But right now, just surviving. Like I said, I have 8 kids, and all the babies are sleeping. Well, they got a bedtime, but if anybody's up, they sneaking. They should have been asleep. But on the weekend, we'll give them like an extra. It ranges between like probably like 45, but probably like an hour, good hour, no more than an hour and a half. Stay up later, but if they're up, they're just playing around. I mean, pretending to be asleep when I say playing around. So, hey, son. So yeah. Hey, Bonnie. But yeah, just chilling. Really just trying to learn these features. I see that I kind of learned a little bit about them, so it won't be too difficult, when I get on here and gotta do what I gotta do. But yeah, just that really. Nothing too much, nothing too much. The baby. So yeah, live is, in my opinion, I don't know. It's I guess I can see its benefits of it. I guess if I had something to say right then and there, I could just turn it on and say what I need to say. But other than that, and I can see its benefits too. Like, I guess how people use it for if there's like an emergency or something, to have that, like, I guess, unlimited space to record. But me, I mean, I don't really have much to say unless I got something to say. So, something specifically. It's like I'll talk my husband's head off all day and talk to the kids. So when it comes to other people, I'm kind of like, not too much. Well, so introverted on everybody else. You okay, buddy? You okay? You okay? Yeah, so that's type of topic seem to be. It won't be like, they'll kind of be like more surface level. Like when it comes to my website, like people who come to get like, it's hard to describe them and call them, but most people just call like readings and things like that, or I just call it all things spiritual because it's like, my husband and I will do like readings. If you have any messages or anything, like if there's like loved ones that are transitioned or even earthside, things like that, like basically passing messages on my website. It has everything on there as far as all the services that we offer. Everything's on there. If there's something that isn't on there that we offer and that we do, you can always, email and ask a question. And that's the point of them being individual sessions like that, because people may have different things that they want to talk about versus what we have listed. But like I said, we only personally speak on the personal things that we've experienced. So it's like everything that is on my website is everything that I have literally gone through, survived through. And then there's things on there too that my husband and both of I, before coming together in this lifetime, have experienced. So it's like when people come and book on our website, like we're not talking to them from a space of something we like seen on TV or something that we've like read on Google or anything. Like we're speaking literally like on some, I got out of these circumstances and I got a situation and this is how I got out of the circumstances and the situation. Like it's literally based on our real life experiences. Like back in the day, like I said, our YouTube page had been up since 2011. So back then it's like we would make a lot of content and sometimes it was hours and it was long and things like that. But over the years, to me, it was just like we had Facebook back then, but we deleted that like in 2021. So for me, it's just like, I felt like from that point, Spirit was leading us to just make little videos here and there. And if people actually wanted to know something specific, they just started coming onto the website. Because a lot of people like had a lot of things that are like, the things on the website are pretty like deep. Like it talks about things like, surviving like domestic violence, narcissism, just all the things you can think of, like been through everything and, still survived. And like I said, we still decided to, despite what anybody thought, to, have all of our children and everything. Because from the beginning, we started out, went through this different stages of like religions and stuff like that. And just reading everything, understanding everything. And that's what brought us back to our true selves, to who we are, because it's like we almost kind of had to explore everything. And to me, that's what made the journey so beautiful, because it's like you know, when we got together years ago, we took our time to explore and experience everything. And I'm kind of glad we did, because I know, like, nowadays, you okay, buddy? You're just farting your little butt off. Him okay? So I know nowadays it's like a lot of people are battling like which way to go when it comes to like religion, different things like that. But for us, it's like, you know, we're not in any religions or anything like that. But like I said, if you know, if you've been following us and following my YouTube page for years, then you know our like beginning and then our middle and our transition and then us getting to who we truly are, like knowing ourselves and things like that, you know? So yeah, we just chilling. It's been a cool little journey. A lot of times, like when I don't have YouTube content, like the thing about us is like we never sought out to be like content creators. And I know it sounds crazy because I mean it's literally creating content, but when we were always posting the videos that we were led to post that Spirit lead us, we were just literally posting, Spirit led. Oh, come on, buddy. You okay? What you doing? What? Where you going? You can't get up yet, buddy. You can't walk yet. You a little baby. Oh, what's wrong? You can't get up yet. You gotta slow down, buddy. You get up soon. You pooping? Let me see. Oh, I think so. You okay? Just farting. Okay, buddy. So yeah, when we first started posting though, like I said back then, and even still now, we never post for like, the amount of views or likes or things. Like we literally just posted like everything we were led. And back then when we started posting, it was always, oh, you're crazy. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes that. But it's interesting because everything that we posted from back then, when I say back then, I'm talking like 11 years ago, stuff like that. Like all those things, came true. And it's like we still have, our content and things like that. So for us, it was never about like, how many people watching or looking and things like that. It was more so about us like understanding with spirituality, like being where you need to be, sharing what you need to share. And even if that one person or whomever like the message was for, whomever like received it, like we are firm believers in that. Like I know a lot of people feel like, it's all about like, the popularity, this and that. But us, we're actually more so like not like spotlight, like like more so introverted. Like my husband's introvert, I'm introvert expert. But only like with people I'm like kind of, close with. But yeah, for me, I always felt like when I first started this out, back then, okay, so when I say back then, when I said my husband, I started this out about 11 years ago, everything. So when I say that, this is even before that. And I remember like there was nobody like, I guess you can say 13 years ago when it came to like understanding like spirituality. And I'm not talking about anything with like textbooks or he say, she say, but just literally going through certain things. Like I rarely could find anybody back then. And it's like back then in those days, I was like on Insta and like just using hashtags and stuff. And it was so difficult though, because I didn't know any terminologies or anything. Like back then it was like all I can base was my experience of what I was feeling, what I was seeing, my connection with spirit, knowing spirit was true, knowing that what I was feeling and experiencing was true. But like I said, back then, all you can do is like, I mean, it's just difficult because it's like there was no, I could just hashtag this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I'm exploring. Like it wasn't like that. Like I said, about 13 years ago, even up until like the last maybe 6 years, for people who was experiencing what I was experiencing. And that's why was used to use the hashtags, like how they would say you're bipolar, bipolar one, schizophrenia, like the labels that this society would use. Because it was like back then, that was the closest thing that I had. Because when I did start getting those are labels that was, given to me. When they started giving me those labels, that was the closest thing I had to relate to people that was like me. So that was cool. I'm saying in a sense of like, not so much the label, but when I started experiencing and being around other people and talking to them, like it was like more so on social media. But when I started like hashtagging that and seeing other people like, oh, I experienced this, I experienced that, that's what made me be like, okay, so I'm not the only person that's going through this. But it was still super duper rare because not a lot of people that look like me, especially like, and when I, like me, that was like back then. I couldn't find anybody. So I was just like going through this and trying to figure everything out. But what kept me to stay on the path and to never like abandon the path of spirituality, like knowing that spirit, I really had a spirit-led mission, was because my brother, was before my brother was 2 years before my brother was murdered, he was experiencing everything I was experiencing. But I didn't start like I can't say looking back that we always was experiencing things even when we was little kids, but like being heightened like that to where they put like labels on us, it wasn't until a couple years until after everything happened with my brother. So that's what helped me hold on to it, because it was just like no matter what everybody thought around me, it's like they can't tell what we experienced. You know what I mean? But that's why like I did like when Spirit asked me in 2018 to make a full testimony of my life, everything from like age 0. And I think when I stopped it, I ain't gonna say I'm done forever, but when I took a pen in it, I think I was at like age maybe 34 or 32 or something, like maybe 32 maybe. And I'm 36 now, so it's like I did make it like different like series because it was so much things. But looking back, it was difficult. It was like I had to unpack a lot of like trauma, like basically letting everything go. But I'm glad that I did it looking back, because it's not on me. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is released. And that was a form of shadow work. Like a lot of people think like, I know nowadays it's like spirituality is a thing that's like trending. Everybody's saying they're doing it. I stay in my own lane. I don't look left. I don't look right. I just know that, when it comes to it, it's like the way spirit work, it's like spirit comes to you. So it was no study guide. I ain't had no books. It was nothing that can tell you. It's like really, it's kind of like you. I don't want to say you versus you, because you're not going against yourself, but you're listening to your intuition, and only you within can know what is led for you to be doing, like you and your spiritual team and your ancestral lineage. Like, even though like I may look the same as, I don't know, let's say Ashley, we're still in two different paths, two different lanes. It's almost like we can be in the exact same room, but it's like we living in two different dimensions at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you know, you know. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not. So that's like the main thing that I always knew, and that kept me focused and balanced, was just like, I can't look at what somebody else is doing. I can't look at what somebody else is saying. If somebody say like, oh, read this book, it's great. You know what I mean? I'm not against like reading books and giving things a chance. But if I read something and something is like telling me like, you need to do this, it's like a one shoe fits all, or else, then I won't read it. I won't support it. And that's simply because just like the stages of religion, it's like spirituality is not one fit, one all, because it's like your spirit and what you got going on and your mission and what you have is literally for you. You can help others, like be guiding, and that's what my website's about, and the work that my husband and I do. And that's just because when I say I'm a student sharing my study guide, like we'll guide you, meaning like if you have an appointment and your appointment is for you to connect with your family members, your lineage, that's literally what we are. We're like that middle piece, that connector. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're guiding, connecting you. So we would never, like, in sessions, we don't tell people like, you need to do what we say do, or we don't say like, you need to do what we're doing. Like, you won't hear us saying that. Like, literally, whatever's for you is for you. So like I said, your ancestors come to step up to speak to you or anything like that. Our job is just to pass on what they're saying to you. So if your ancestors, your lineage, whomever is giving you, you know, whatever spiritual contract you have, and they're telling you to do something, and you're specifically like, hey, I'm not going to do that, you're not offending us. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me getting on here, even me getting on this live, like, you know, my spirit team, our spirit team told us to do, I'm just doing what they told me to do. So this could be advice to somebody else. Like, if you are in spirituality, or if you work in spirituality, what I learned from spirit is that it's not a such thing as trouble, of course, but it's like, the best way I can describe it is, people may understand like the word karma, or doing their job, or showing up at their post. So what the main thing I learned is that a lot of people think that when they're called to do work with spirit, that they're supposed to just like chase people down, run people down. And of course, at the beginning, you feel like that because it's like, oh, I got this message. It's true. I really want you to follow it and listen to it. But it's like, the more you grow in that, and you grow into like learning yourself, understanding yourself, and understanding your true power, you don't do that anymore. And you understand that it's not about the person accepting the message. It's about you being at your post and delivering the message. So like, if spirit told me like, okay, you was on this live today, or we're at the Walmart, and you know, because this happens to us, like my husband and I, all the time. Like, we're somewhere and we're told to tell somebody something, or led to do something right then, there, in that moment, we do that. So if we do that and deliver that message, and the person denies that message, it's not on us. And sometimes, like, you can deliver a message. It's like I said, my husband and I have that YouTube page. We have started like recording and delivering messages, like, I want to say 2016 or something. And it was like a lot of pushback, a lot of you're crazies, a lot of people fighting, trying to come against us. But that was just fine with us, because all our job was to do was to deliver it, you know? So I feel great now. You know what I'm saying? Like, would it been 10 years since 2016? Because it's like, when you're in those times and everybody's like attacking you and stuff, for me, it wasn't never like, really for both of us, it wasn't like, oh, you hurt our feelings. It was just like, we were just knowing that it was like, y'all supposed to be doing this right now. This is where y'all at. This is where y'all supposed to be. But it was more so like me, I can't talk for everybody. I'm a Sagittarius. So for me, it's just like, if you know anything about Sagittarius, it's like, we really just like, for real, like, stay in our own vibe, stay in our own head. Like, it's nothing. Like, we don't need a crowd. We're not looking for praise. We don't need nobody following us. We don't need no posse, nothing like that. So for me, it was never like, oh, it's nothing about my feelings. It's just like, I'm this type of person that's just like, you know, if I tell somebody something that's not received, then it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna keep going on and on about it. Like, it don't matter to me. Like, not in a mean way, but it's just like, for real, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, a lot of people they say when they spiritual, I can't speak for other people, but when I seen that it had became a trend, and I was told to start making like videos, and spirituality became a trend, I was just kind of like, well, I can't say nothing about that, because that's not my lane. Like, I'm the type of person where it's like, I don't speak on people's situations or things unless I hear it directly from the horse's mouth. So for me, it's just like, if it's a trend to people, that's them. You know what I'm saying? But it's never been a trend for me or my husband and I. Like, the fact that when we first learned about what was going on with spirituality, it wasn't pretty. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't pretty, like when it came to my brother, you know, finding out like all the spiritual thing he was going through, and then him having to go to the psych ward. And then back then, like I said, 2011, none of us knowing nothing about nothing. We were still in the era where everybody was still like, oh, if anybody started talking to spirit, or if anybody started acting a certain way, oh, somebody must have put something in their drink, even if they didn't drink, like alcohol, or somebody put something in their, other things, whether they indulged or not. I'm trying to be clean because like I said, back when I started, when we started YouTube, back when we started, the other sites back in the days, we could speak more freely. You know what I'm saying? We could kind of say what we want to say, but now I know it's been so many rules and regulations and restrictions. So I'm just doing my best on here, you know what I'm saying, to say whatever it is that I can say without saying too much or not saying enough, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, back then, it was just like when you came and said that, you know what I'm saying, you heard from spirit and you trying to explain to everybody what you saw, explain to everybody what you heard. It's like I said, that was 2011 for my brother. It's like, oh yeah, that person's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Throw them in the psych ward. Don't let them out. Get them all this medication, blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, once my brother was, what y'all say now, unalive, that's what y'all call it. I said, I be reading and stuff. He was unalive in 2013. It's just like, okay. So when I was experiencing the same things after him being unalive, I knew it was real, but it's just like, I said this to say, like, when they say people have like a spiritual awakening and they go through all that stuff, I don't know what media is making it like now, but it's really not like a pretty thing, if that makes sense what I'm saying. I'm not saying it doesn't get better, but from truly experiencing it, and like I said, I ain't gonna say family members with an S, but the people who have, it's usually not a pretty thing. Like, a lot of times people are like, even to this day, I don't want to say in the closet, but I don't know how to say it. Like, people are like afraid to come forth and actually say what they see, what they feel, and what they experience. And I can understand why some of them might be, but some people have like a bolder spirit than others, and it's not no shade. Like, everybody's just different. And like I said, just like from our website, having a bold spirit like this is due to everything I've experienced. So being through so much, to me, when spirit came and was like, oh, get on there and start posting your experiences, telling your testimony, all that, like, had been through so much my whole life, it was just like, okay, only thing was just that I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I didn't want to be like everybody looking at me. I didn't care if people knew about the things I had been through, because it's not a secret. Like, I'm not trying to hide it. People knew me. I wasn't like hiding or nothing. It's just like, I just kept asking, like, what is it gonna benefit? Like, if I know it can benefit somebody, me telling, like, everything I've been through, then cool. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when I took the time to record the series. And I did over the period of, I think, 2018 all the way to maybe like 22 or something like that. Like, through all those years, I just took my time and I just kept making testimony. So it's like, that's pretty much like the best, like, because I didn't really want to put no labels on nothing, but when I do put labels like under the post as far as our spiritual work, if y'all see stuff on there like shaman or something, that's because, for one, I know that's the title that's used, here, and that's like closely related to, some of the things that we do. But like I said, it's all things spirituality. It's a full range. Like, there's no category. Like, we don't have a category where it's like, only do this, only do that. Because, like I said, we have a category where it's like, what you forget? Don't be loud, because I'm on here live. I thought you took them. But if you don't have the ones on your bed, look on my bed. Or not, or just look in my room, like on the little dresser part. So check, just check. I'm on there. Check in there. Just go upstairs. There. Just check in my room. Go. Thank you. So anyways, when it came to, like, okay, she threw me off. I can't remember what I was saying. I think I was talking about, the services. Right. Because with our site, like, it's not just going to be like, it ain't just one thing. I know, like, some people, like, if you specialize in something, let's say a mechanic, you know what I'm saying? If the mechanic is just like, okay, I only work on brakes, you know what I'm saying? So call me for brakes. Like, it's not like that for us. It's all things spiritual, because the testimonies of all the things that we've been through, we have the spiritual insight and access to why. And then also, like I said, if it comes to connecting to like loved ones and things like that, that's another thing. But the thing about us is like you have to want to do the work for yourself, because like you can like book as many sessions as you want with us, but at the same time we're more so like if you ever have had or experienced or even know what cognitive behavior therapy is, like you can look that up, you know what I'm saying, if you've ever had that type of therapy or if you ever heard about having that therapy. It's like that's more so like the work would be. I mean, that's just an example. Like, not saying we're doing therapy work. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you've ever experienced that, then people who go to those type of therapists, and I can speak on that because I've been there and I've done that type. And what it's saying is like, it's not the same therapy as when you just like lay on the couch, no shade, do whatever works for you. I'm not here to tell nobody do nothing different for them. I'm just telling you what we do. So most people, when they think of therapy, if they haven't been before, they think of like, you know, just lay on the couch for 30 minutes, an hour, and then you just like explain everything that you're going through and, you know, get it all off your shoulders. And then once it's off your shoulders, it's like, all right, go home. So basically what the other type is that I just named, that type of therapy is like, I remember my therapist, it's like he would give me homework, and I truly didn't understand it because when I used to go to him, it was like for trauma and like certain things that happened. Like I said, I don't know how much you can say on here, so I'm just gonna keep it brief. But when I went there, it was like he gave me homework, and the homework he gave me is like, now looking back, I know, and mind you, this is like in 2008 when I say looking back. Now I know that because I was 18. I know that it's not, the term now would be like a form of shadow work. I know that now because it's like I went to him and he was kind of teaching me like the like kind of like fears and discomforts that I had due to trauma. It's like he was like teaching me how not to be fearful of that thing. So it was like, instead of being like, if I was like, I'm traumatized of, I don't know, the dark, for instance. This is just an example, pure example. If I was to say that, just if I said I was terrified of the dark because so and so happened in the dark, instead of him being like, okay, you know what, go get you a nightlight, go get you a flashlight, you know, for when you go to sleep, he would tell me like, I mean, yeah, at first he would let us have the conversations where you come to the sessions and you tell him everything, he asks you questions and give the assessment test. But then after that, it'd be like, the homework, like it would start. Now that I know what shadow work, he didn't call it that though. But the homework would start and it'd just be like, okay, well, today I see you next week. And this week I want you to focus on starting to sit in the dark for a couple of seconds. Now what he'll say is like, first he would give me tools though. Like he would tell me like, you know, this, not just tell me like, oh, this isn't going to hurt you. Like he would logically like explain like why this isn't gonna hurt me, or just like if I was just like, basically that's the best I can kind of say. Like, oh, okay, that's the example he gave me. Like if somebody in a red shirt pushed me down and like traumatized me really bad, he like gave me the examples of like, so now do I think everybody in the color red, everybody in a red shirt, like if I go to the mall tomorrow, do I think everybody is gonna act that way, or you know, in that sense? And then I'm like, oh no, like it's a little 2-year-old girl over there in a red shirt, it's another lady over there, something like that. So it's like an example like that. Like the sessions will make me like, will kind of get you out of that trauma, that fear you in, and then it kind of make you think logically, and then ease you into where it's like, okay, I do need to start back wearing the color red. You know, it was my favorite color before this happened. And then like he'll say, okay, well, today I'm gonna give you this red bracelet, you know what I'm saying? Try to wear it for the week and tell me what it felt like. And then when you come back, you know, you can take notes in this homework and let me know how I feel. So kind of like make you like kind of face the thing that have given you fear or caused you what it's causing you, but not too fast, not too much at once. So if he's like, oh, you scared of dark, go home. After we had some sessions and talk, you know what I'm saying? Turn off the lights for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, turn it back on. Then he'll analyze you, write down the homework, how that made you feel. Oh, I felt a little anxiety. You know, I felt a little anxious. Say what you feel. And then it's like time after time you keep facing this thing. Then eventually, now you're in the light for 10 seconds. Now you're in the light for, you know, longer. Then eventually now you're sleeping all night, you know, with the light off. So basically, when it comes to the way that my husband and I services are, in a sense, it's the same way. Like, we want you to get the tools. That's why the website says a student sharing a study guide, because we want you to come, when you come to our sessions, we're giving you the tools for you to better you. So like I said, I don't know what that looks like for you, because when you book your session, you're explaining like what you're here for. Like, it's not basically, we're not using our services to like read y'all minds to be like, oh, this is what you're here for. Like, no, we're not gonna do that, because the way we feel like people who come to us is that your spirit team and your higher self has guided you to come to our services, so you know exactly what you're coming for. And it's like we're that gap, we're that bridge, we're that middle for you receiving whatever you need to receive, like I said, whether it be from your ancestors, your higher self, or so forth. But our site, when you leave from talking to us, like, you will be fed. Like I said, those who do or don't, know us. My husband and I have 8 children, and all our babies are a year apart, and our oldest is 9. You know what I mean? So we don't do things, just to do them. You know what I mean? We have our own things going on. Like I said, our babies, our 8 babies, we homeschool them. Like, you know what I mean? We have our own things going on, but I can say that we had always agreed back then, though, that, we will always, give back, in the sense of, like, that's why we make the website. So when people come to us and book their sessions and things like that, that's what they're looking to receive. They're looking to receive the same type of great quality services that I believe that was received, that was given to us. And I say that because when I was explaining that back in 2011 and all those things like that, when it was like, now I know the term is called spiritual awakening. Back then the term was called you crazy, go to the psych ward. I'd have been in and out of the psych ward, inpatient, 6 times over the years. So like I said, it's not a trend for us. It's literally just, we know what somebody else is going through. And when you get awoken, or what we call get online and get on remembrance, it's not pretty. We're here to show the side of basically the people who were loners. Like, the type of work that we've done were basically like the same type of lives that we had. And I use my brother as an example a lot. Somebody who was just, living what this society would call regular life, everyday normal. Then literally next day, everything has changed, and the people that we've known, a lot of the people that we have helped have been personal people that we've known. And I'm just grateful that we can be there for them, because when those times came about years ago for us, it was nobody. And the fact that when we tried to go to like family and closest friends, those are the people that was like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, figure it out. But then my husband and I getting together with each other, it's just like, oh, okay, no one else matters, in the sense of that don't believe us. And our post is really to help people out there who were, when I say our post, I mean like us being where we need to be in order to answer the call for those who need the direction, the guidance. Because like I said, we're not here to give anybody like answers in terms of just like putting things onto people like, you should believe this, you should believe that. Because like I said, if you're coming to our site anyways, to be fed. I was just finna say, babe, where the music at, DJ?
I gotta shake it up, because it's playing the same stuff over.
Oh, okay, because I'm like, hold on, I can hear myself. What's this about? I sure was like, why could I hear myself? Okay, yeah, but yeah, so all I'm saying is, like I was saying, is like, we just remember those years before finding each other, before finding our twin flame, how lonely and those things felt. More so like lonely because everybody's calling me crazy, and you ain't crazy, you're not making it up. But for us, it's just like, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? People call us crazy, like, we don't care about none of that. Our job is just to be here for those that are like, you know, trying to find the light. And that's the reason why, even though I know they're labels, I never had a problem with my testimony being like, they labeled me with bipolar 1, schizophrenic, schizoaffective, PTSD, anxiety, all that across the board, you know, with, you know, my husband and things like that. You know how people just ADHD, all that type of stuff. We never had a problem with people, even though we know what it is spiritually. I don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with people knowing the labels, because like I said, that's what led me to where I am today. Because back then, there was nobody trying to help. Everything was just psych word, you're crazy. But then when I did start typing in, oh, bipolar, oh, schizophrenia over the years, and I started matching their symptoms together with the signs and things that I was experiencing, that my brother had experienced, then it's like, okay, we on to something here. So for some people, for me, it's like, I kind of know what it is when they say that. But like I said, nowadays it's like a trending thing. Like back then it was like, oh, you shunned. But it's like now, what I say, like 11 years later, it's trending. It's cool. They say it's cool to call people bipolar 1 now. They say it's cool to be schizophrenic now. I didn't know that, but if it's the truth, because like I said, I don't follow trends. I'm not really on media like that. So if it's true, then I mean, I'm glad that, you know, they have a space. It's a you know, mental health space to sort things out. But like I said, I knew even back then that the labels that was placed upon me, placed upon, you know, my brother, you know, my lineage and things like that. I can only speak for my lineage. I can't speak for nobody else. I knew that there was more to what was being said. So I basically just made it my mission to continue to figure out, like, you know, all these coincidences and things like that. So especially a lot of the things that I learned, like, mostly was in the psych wards though. And that was really because, like, being inpatient, it's like you learn a lot. Like, I mean, depending on who you are, what you got going on spiritually, but like, I was first inpatient in 2014, a year after my brother was, y'all say y'all can't say the word, so unalived. So a year later was the first time that I had went to the psych ward, inpatient twice that year. And back then, you know what I mean, it was like such a shame. You didn't want to tell anybody, didn't want to talk about it. But I do it now because I'm grateful that, like, after getting out the psych ward, I think it was like, I don't want to say it was that same year. I remember when I found no information. I think it was like the following year. I started seeing people was posting like about their hospitalizations and their experiences. And I was like, dang, you know, I felt like it had really helped me, because it was like, I mean, it was just like, you just felt like it was just such a shame. And I think the part of it was like the stigma. I think it was from, like, even me, like, I never had the stigma behind it, but I'm talking about like the fear that was projected, because it was like, before, the first time I had went into a facility was like 2011, because when my brother was, you know, started being able to see like spirit and connect the spirit, it was like 3 years before me. But I did go visit him, but I didn't get to, it wasn't like in a common area. When I seen him, I think it was just him, because he only gets 6 quick second, because I had flew in from out of state. But I remember him being there, and I was like talking to him on the phone. But it's nothing like being like inpatient yourself. And I'm saying this to say, like I said, everybody says cool, but it's like, that's why I don't promote or condone like people, like, when they say like do this and that to like jumpstart or try to tap the spirit world. We never did nothing like that. When I say, it was literally like my brother regular day, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with family, you know, kicking the same thing he always do, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden it's like everything at once, like crash in, like a light switch come on. So for people around you, all they can think of is, oh, it must be something in drink, or it must be something in, you know, something else. But it's like, no, it wasn't that. So then I was just, you know, I paid a lot of attention. I still felt truly like real connected with my brother spiritually. And I had always knew that we experienced spirit. Like my mom, my brother and I got the same mother and father. So we grew up in the same house until I was like, I want to say like 11, 12, because we both moved. That's when I had moved like away. I was going to say to another country, basically, to Hawaii, and he, stayed in Chicago. But it's like, we still, I still was visiting and everything, but our connection still stayed the same. We never changed. I was on the phone. And some people, when you have that deep spiritual connection, it's just like you could be far away and start connection. But I said that to say, everybody from the outside can always perceive what they think and they see as like, that looks crazy, that person's crazy. But it's like, what really helped me do this and like stop, because let me make this clear. I denied this calling for so many years. Like, now I'm thinking about it, even before that happened with my brother, it didn't happen like, that's why I keep saying the term they use now, spiritual awakening. I would say that was 2014. But as far as me hearing from spirit, like when I was young, when I was growing up, like hearing audible, like spirit speak to me and things like that, I was just avoiding it, like ignoring it, like out of fear, like nah. Then it was just like one day, like what made me, I'm trying to think what really made me was just like, no, this is what it is. Like, yeah, that was after my brother. But before my brother, I avoided everything. I was like, nah, I'm cool. And it's like I wasn't being told nothing so much specifically, but I was just like, I'm cool on the fact that I can hear spirit, and I always knew things. I was always considered spiritual, like how she know this, how she know that. But after my brother though, it was just like I felt connected to him still, and it was just like, I know it got to be something deeper. And it's just like I continue to just like, then I started letting spirit lead, because it was just like, what's there to lose? Because after I had lost my brother at the time, that was the most important person in my life. Like, there really was nobody else. Like, it was just me and my brother. Like, we had no other siblings, and I wasn't close like to like my mom and dad. Not those, me and my brother. And then it's like, that's how I felt. I met my husband at my brother's funeral though. My twin flame was at my brother's funeral. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could be a person to ignore spirit all you want. Like I said, that's not my business. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell people what to do. But it's like, I chose to listen to my spirit. I chose to follow. And it's like, sometimes things happen and it's just like, that's like unfortunate, or why did that happen, or why did that go that way? But now it's like, looking back, I know all things are aligned for a reason, aligned for a purpose, because it's like the lowest of the lowest. Like I was saying, I already have all that on my YouTube, my full-blown testimony. Like, if there's anything you can think of, like worst of the worst, I've been through it. And then it's like the last thing that was like right there before it, just like everything like snapped, it's like, was my brother. And then like being at that lowest point, and it's like, I met my twin flame at my brother's funeral. But it's like, we didn't, you know what I'm saying, we was friends first. But I'm just saying, like, just explaining how a lot of times, like, spirit has its reasons for everything, like the ancestors and stuff. So it's like, I don't question it, because a lot of things that I seen, like even back in like 2014, like even a message that I got from my brother in my my college graduation before he passed, things he said back then in like 2012, 2013, it's like some things didn't even start unlocking and had the full piece to the puzzle until 2004, or sometimes it was 18, sometimes it was 25, So I was saying this to say, like, when you do get a spiritual message from somebody, like, I can't speak for other people, but when it comes to my husband, I give him a spiritual message, like, it's not for us to interpret what your message means, like when a person is giving you a message from spirit, like, it ain't about us like being all in your business and knowing your business and knowing what you got going on, or what type of curses you may have to break off your lineage or break off yourself. Like, it's just for us to pass on what we see, what we hear, what we're led to say, or what we're used to say. You know what I mean? So, that's not just. with my wrist. So yeah, basically it's like, yeah, that's pretty it. Like, I'm sorry, I did forget to say something. The movies I was saying is what like made it scary, like about the psych ward, but really, like for real, we was like, when I went, it was like I was so like in tune with spirit. Like for the first couple days, I didn't know where I was, and then when I did come back down, that's when they told me like, oh, like you was speaking all this like spiritual stuff and saying all this and saying all that, and you know, it was like whatever, because the way it was for me was just like, it wasn't like a choice thing. I'm not saying nobody forced me, but it wasn't like, I guess you can call it a conscious thing. It's like my higher self was just like saying what was led to be said, and that's exactly what I did. So that's really the main reason why we want to make a safe space, because a lot of people don't got nobody to talk to. So like, I guess it's just like I said, it depends on your life. Like the way we grew up, like I said, it was kind of like, I mean, I guess I don't really want to say loner, because like I always was like places, and you know, I could get along with people like cool, but at the same time it was like a lot of people always like kind of started drama with me and started stuff, but I was always cool. Like most of the guys, like guy friends was cool and stuff, so I was never like, I always had a couple people around me, not too many. The circle was always kind of small, but it was just like, you know, it's still like a lonely feeling, like when you're not connected to like your true like soul and your purpose and stuff. It's almost like being asleep. So yeah, like this are the type of things that I will be talking about on live, like, you know, going more in depth about the visits that I had in the psych ward, like connecting things for me, spirituality, just saying that we understand how it looks on the outside. That's why I have hashtag, like, you know, like shaman and healer and things like that, because I know some people, I've seen it like on YouTube over the years, like when they do like certain things. I mean, they go to certain teachers or schools to do certain rituals or whatever to become who they are. But like I said, was literally called, like told what to do, told how to do, how to train and things like that. And like I said, it's nothing new. Only new thing is really me being on here. Been on YouTube since 2012. Most everything else I do is just like in person. Like I said, my husband and I talk to people in person. We just kind of, wherever we are, we told to say something spirit led, we just do it. Yeah, that's why a lot of times, like, I'm not on here like that. Like, I could post a little here and there, but being busy with our children and stuff, and like I said, our, you know, just being home, like working from home, doing the stuff we gotta do, homeschooling, take care of the kids. So that's all types of stuff that I'll be sharing. Like, but it's gonna probably be more so like recorded, a lot of recorded videos. I'm gonna start doing something on this platform because it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, little vibe, you know what I'm saying? This be my first, like, today I practiced and played on a little live thing, but it was like 2 minutes. But this is like really genuinely like my first live. Like, like I said, I can typically be very introverted and antisocialist. And it's not like a mean thing. It's what I learned. It's more so like an experience thing. Like I said, over the years, like learning how people have treated me, not learning how to do these things, but learning that I knew how to read energy, learning that I knew how to read spirit, and I could feel that uncomfortableness and not, you know, certain little things. So for me, it's just like, it's just more peaceful and be my sanctuary with my beautiful husband, my twin flame, and our kids. So it's like, but Spirit said it's time for you to pop out again. You playing. I say you thought you just gonna be gone forever, because I'm trying to tell you, like, we had did this straight from like 2016 all the way to 2021. And it was like, at the end of 2020, I almost was like, look, it wasn't like, I wasn't tired of helping people, but kinda, because back then it was like we were still going through the motions, like of, trying to figure out, what we had going on. Okay, so it's saying that, oh wait, what I gotta do? I gonna end my live because of what? Verify, drag the piece to the puzzle. Okay. Now what? Oh, okay. It says back. All right. I guess they're trying to make sure I'm the bot. No, I'm not a bot. I don't know. I just don't know how to use the thing. That's what I mean by computers, though. Proving that I'm interacting, but y'all can see me talking. Y'all can see me move my mouth. Y'all can see me waving. That's what I'm saying. Like, going into a world that's gonna take over. It's just like, well, who's gonna build in the common sense? So yeah, basically, after 2021, 2020, and it was just like, I was tired of like making the videos, only because it's like, basically we started out ourselves, as we already knew, like everything was spirituality. Not like we were like doing it on purpose, just our regular lives. Like, we just knew stuff, we would say stuff. Then it's like we had went through the period of, throughout that 5 years or 5 or 6 years, we had went through the period of learning, like really learning, like about Christianity, Hebrew Israelites, a little bit of like Muslim things like that. And the reason why was because it's like, after that awakening, it's like it wasn't just like one awakening. It's just like constant, like over the years, And for us, we just really wanted to start there with Christianity because we were curious about what our family like we wanted to know what it truly meant. Like I said, my husband and I are millennials, 80s babies. So like, one thing about the awakening did is like, it spiked our curiosity. Like, we wanted to know why. Like, everything was why, but we noticed that, like, even like back in religion, like I said, it's like we noticed when we grew up, like, we wasn't like, I wouldn't say religious. Like, our parents and stuff might have been like, oh, you're a Christian because we're a Christian, or Baptist, we're Baptist, you go to church because we go to church. But coming up, we wasn't religious, like where our parents is like, you got to read this Bible, or you got to know this Bible, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was little and stuff, me and my brother, we was in the choir and stuff, but we was little. We didn't have to know the Bible to be in the choir. You know what I'm saying? We were just singing and, participating and stuff like that. But it wasn't like full-fledged, like, y'all miss a Sunday type thing. Like, me and my brother would do it. It's like we had did it for a period of time, then we just wasn't doing no more. But I say that to say, like, when we started studying Christianity, my husband and I was like, we actually studied. Like, we was curious. It was like, something was like, why don't y'all just read the book? And it's like crazy because, like, throughout the years, it was just like, I would start and close it. Like, I'm never going to get through this thing. This thing is just long. You know what I mean? Like, then when you started, not just long, it's like the words was just crazy. So it's like, nah. But it was like, what really set me down, truly, for real, because it's like I said, I'm a Sagittarius. So coming up, it's like, I just had to be like, I wasn't this type that was like, oh, I got to go to the club all the time. Like, I just like people. And that's because, like I said, me and my brother grew up real close. I love being around him. And my family, like, on my mom and dad's side, we was always like together. Like, they was real big on always like throwing gatherings, everybody eating together, coming over, playing cards and stuff like that. Because I'm from Chicago. I'm originally from Chicago, and then I moved the other half of my life and was raised in Hawaii. So I'm from Chicago and I'm from Hawaii. But before going to Hawaii to be raised, for the second half, it was just like, I had always liked, like, being amongst people. Like, even if I was just chilling with them, like everybody playing cards and stuff like that, like, I liked, to be around people. It was like, just the energy in general. So it was cool. And I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, I say that to say like, I don't remember what I was saying. I really don't. But see, and that's another thing that when it comes to spirit, like when it comes to like me channeling or when me and my husband channel and stuff, it's like me and him, like we have like so many calendars, so many things written down, because it's like one thing about being used by spirit and used like to channel and stuff, it's like a lot of times like those like short-term thoughts and stuff is like, it's like they cycle, like they repeatedly wiped out. And I know it's not like on purpose, but it's like since you're being channeled through spirit, it's like spirit is giving you what to say or telling you, or like you're channeling that. And like when you're truly channeling, it's not something you think about, it's something you just say, because you never know like what's something you can say like at that point in time that could be needed for somebody else or needed for yourself for that matter. So a lot of times, like I know society teaches you like, oh my God, if you forget what you was gonna do and forget what you was gonna say, like just drill it, it'll come back, But for us, we just be like, it'll come back. We always say like, if it's something like super important or something that spirit want us to say, remember we say it'll come back around. And I used to like, I recently literally just stopped doing this because I get so much information. I'm just like, write everything down. And it got to the point where it's like, I run out of notebooks, pens, papers, everything. And then spirit was just like, why don't you start just practicing keeping it in your mind? I'm like, okay, but what if I forget something? And like, well, if it's important, it's going to cycle back. It's all important, but it'll cycle back at that time, in that season, when it's time to be said. But basically, I was just talking about like, I think probably like protecting peace and protecting energy and stuff. But one thing about us I can say is though, we're not like selfish when it comes to that. And then they just reminded me, they said you was talking about Christianity and you were explaining you guys, getting to learn it. Oh, that's what set me down. Thank you, Spirit. See, I ain't even got a trip. What set me down? Why I brought that up about me liking people, want to be around people, the energy, playing space, playing cards, drinking. I don't know if you can say drinking on here, things like that. So what set me down when I kept being like, dang, it's a long book. Like when this book is gonna take forever to read. Our first baby, like our first baby, getting pregnant and stuff. It was just like I immediately went into like mommy bear mode, and I just thought about, even though it was like little house, situations and gatherings, like I think at the beginning we might have went to like one or two. Like my mom had a friend like made like dinner. I'm like, okay, that sounds simple enough. We was in Hawaii, cause like I said, I'm from Chicago and from Hawaii, but I had came back to Chicago. And then my husband and I went to Hawaii together. So we was in Hawaii at the time, pregnant with our first child. And then it's like, I was able to sit down long enough to like start reading and studying these things. That's the point of what I was trying to say. Because I was like, nah, I ain't trying to be in no social situations. Like, I just always thought accidents could happen. And I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to be, in no stampedes, no crowd, nothing happening, keeping us safe, keeping the baby safe. Like that's, where I was at. So it was like my husband was working night shift and I would just be in the house. And it's like, when he would have like throughout the night shift and stuff, like he'd be reading and stuff because throughout the night shift, I'm sleeping. And me, it's like when he would go to work, like before he would go to work, when he would sleep for the night shift, I was still in college, so I'll be doing like some online college work and then I would study. But then it was like after having the baby, we went back to Chicago and stuff. We was my husband stayed home with me the first few months with the baby. It was my first baby. Like I had my first baby a week before I turned 27. So it's like she was born at the end of November, and I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a December Sag though, beginning of December, and she's in November. So it's like he stayed home with me, adjusting to becoming a mom and everything like that. So it's like while we were sitting at home with the baby and stuff, I was still doing college online. She was full-time breastfeeding and everything, so our hours was all crazy. Like we would stand up all night long. Like she didn't want to go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning. So it's like we would be up all night. So basically, like we was just reading because we was up like weird hours, you know what I'm saying? Like since she kept us up so late at night, we would be asleep most of the time throughout the day, and then we would get up like evening, nighttime sometime, and then we'd be reading and reading. So that's when we start reading the Bible. I say all that to say that. So I mean, it's not like, I know people could be like, I like to talk in the sense of like, I like to show a picture when I'm speaking. So when we start reading it, we had time to read it because, like I said, the baby had crazy hours. So when we actually started reading the Bible, we was just like, wait, our parents said they're Christians. So immediately we're just like, They told us from children that we was Christians, so we reading the Bible. We like, they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do this, they don't do that. Not on no judging type stuff. I don't know if you cursing here. I ain't trying to get kicked out. Not on judging type stuff. It was just like we was actually curious. Like, is this what people say is supposed to do? I guess the way we've seen it as like when people say like, oh, they ain't like a gang or they ain't like a society or what's that called? Like sorority. That's what I say. Sorority when you're in college and all that stuff. So we took it as like when you say that you like a Christian or you practice, you're Muslim or, you're Hebrew, it's like that. We took it as this must be the book that you follow the principles from if you say that that's what you are. Like, that's how, it makes sense. So as we're reading it, we're just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't raised this way or, this ain't what nobody doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how we was seeing it. So it intrigued us to like continue to read. And then it's like the more we read, instead of us trying to read it in a way of like, let's try to read it like proper how they said, like we actually started reading it how we would regularly read. We stopped worried about like, is that the right pronunciation? Is that the right lettering? Is that the right saying? And we actually read and we got into it. And it was like a real book, a real story. We started looking up things, adding things together, taking things, subtracting things. So it's like, even though like, with the end results of all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? We're not a Christian, we're not Hebrew, Israelite, we're not in none of those religions. I don't trade that time for nothing because like I said, those 10 years of from 2016 to where we're at now, the 5 years of that, learning about religion, like truly learning about what people who say they're Christians are, according to that book says to do, people who said they were Hebrew Israelite, according to that book supposed to be. I'm grateful for the actual in like literally us experiencing ourselves because it's like now that we are back to who we are, no one can ever like tell us anything in terms of like this or that. And it's like being back in those religions, around religions, they call like their natural connection to spirituality, your natural connection to your ancestors. They call that stuff wicked and evil and all that, but it's like, that's not what it is. But just like I said when I first started this live, people are free to do whatever they want to do. I was just saying to know what to expect when coming to us. Like I said, you just gonna get the real, like literally the real, like our real life experiences. Like we can't tell you nothing about nobody else. All we can tell you about is ourselves. So if a person got a session with us and wanted to know like specific things about us, like how we came to know that we're not, Christians. And I say we, I keep saying we because I'm talking about me and my husband. Me and my husband are twin flames. These are our platforms. Like I said, my husband's more of a introvert. But how we know that we got to where we are, or we got back to where we're supposed to be, was because you have to be true to yourself. But I'm grateful that we did read and learn about these things, but we know who we are. And that's the main thing about, I can say spirituality, but for me, it's just us. Like, it's a normal day for us to be like this, or you hear this, or you see this, or you heard that, or explain this or that. Like, it's normal. I just feel like in this day and age, being 2026, it's like you can just be, I guess, I can't really say more out about it because they've been labeling me and calling me crazy for years. So it's just like, so if you come to us for, guidance, I guess that's just your time, what you're led to do. So a lot of like the lives that I make, and like I said, more than likely they're going to be recorded videos, but I can't say that because the spirit, like today, is like, nope, get on live, then I have to do that. But yeah, we really just be chilling. Like, it's a lot, like, I guess, of things like I said, that we have going on as far as our family. But other than that, we just be chilling. Like, we don't speak on nothing we haven't experienced. That's all I can say. Like, anything that's ever spoken on, we literally experienced it or is still experiencing at the time. But this is basically a safe space. Like, there's nothing that we haven't heard um or anything like that, basically. So yeah, I was just really just testing out this live thing. I mean, it's cool. You okay, baby? What's wrong? So yeah, just basically, testing it out. I do my best, but like I said, the way Spirit be leading us to like do messages, like even when I had deleted, we deleted all those sites. Like I said, in 21, we deleted. I don't know if you can even say other sites on this thing, but got rid of Insta, got rid of the book, all that stuff, and I guess for a couple years we wasn't really like actively on nothing, and I feel like even sometimes just having this little TikTok and then my little, I don't know if I can say YouTube, but whatever. If I get in trouble, I guess I learn. I don't know, everything's so sensitive now. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, like years ago, we were just saying whatever we needed to say. But it's like now when I be reading the comments and reading the little things, I'm like, dang, you can't say nothing no more. I don't even know what you can say another site or not. So I just be trying to be, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not the type that, will be like posting something every single day, every single second, but I'm definitely spirit led. Like, in fact, we got a video that we posted. I think we had to post it like, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 months ago on that other site, but I'm gonna do my best to get it on here soon, at least some of it, because like I said, I don't know what can and can't be said and things like that, but I'm gonna definitely be back around. I'm gonna start doing more recorded videos. You okay, buddy? More recorded videos and stuff like that on this site, because this site is the site that's, like I said, a little different for me. But I definitely can see the benefits of a live for sure. Because one of my main issues when I was making videos was always like running out of camera space. like my phone is crazy. Like, for real, you can ask my husband. Like, I have like, you'll look at my folder and I have like 10,000 pictures, like, and videos, mostly videos and pictures and stuff like that. And it's not like just a thing where it's just like, oh, I'm just taking pictures of myself all day. Like, no, me, it's like a moment thing. And like I said, with us having 8 babies, it's like I'm snapping a picture of everything. Like, I got photo albums. Like, yeah, I know everybody uses clouds and things like that. That's cool, but I need my tangible photo album. Like I said, I'm a millennial. I'm an 80s baby. I need like I'm thinking about times where it become like great, and I can't really say. I know I'm saying great grandma and all that stuff, but like I said, our oldest kid is 9 years old, so I'm not thinking of it that way. I'm thinking of it in the way of like, I want to have something tangible, like all our photo albums just like stacked up, and then over the years, everybody looking at them, like that type of stuff that I'm already like working on. So it's so many pictures because it's like, oh, the kid do this, the kid do that. Oh, look at the kid, look at one of the babies. The baby can hold their hand, like the little baby right here. This is the youngest, can do this now. Or look at that baby. That baby's reading, like, because all 6 of our kids, like, all the older ones are reading. They're homeschooled. All the older ones are reading. And then it's like the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old. The 3-year-old knows some small words too, and the sounds. And then the 1-year-old, she knows her letter sounds. She can repeat everything everybody's saying, but I'm saying she actually knows her letter sounds. And then everybody else, like the 3 to 9-year-old, they're all reading. Of course, the 3-year-old, like I said, he knows a few words. He's little, but the rest of them, they know how to read and stuff. My husband and I taught them the phonics way. So I started working on their letter sounds like right immediately and taught them the phonics way. Like, because I know when I was little, I used to have hooked on phonics. And I was like Matilda, man. You can call me Matilda. Like, I love to read. Like, My brother was 3 years older than me, but I was always had a book in my face. So that was the main thing I wanted to make sure that they immediately got was that book in their face. I'm coming, boy. Let me turn you around, quiet baby. Let me turn you around. Hold on, body. Hold on, body. Yeah, body. So yeah, like homeschooling topics we'll be talking about. We both teach them, and that's because like we teach them as a family, but also it's like topics and things that my husband do that I maybe don't do, like aquatics and geography, biography, even they're little and stuff like that. Like we teach them everything. Like it's homeschool life. Like there's no grades, so don't teach them like you're in this grade, you're in that grade. It's just like they all have that knowledge, like the reading, the writing. And if they were to test them per their grade, they're where they're supposed to be or exceeding. But yeah, like we just chill. Like we really, it's crazy, but it's like we just some chill people. Like there's nothing. The world wanted us to think that there was something wrong with us in a negative way because it was like we've always been. You got clothes on, so I can make you say hi to the live. I don't know. Probably myself, or maybe if there's. It looked like it's some people in here, a couple people maybe. But you know what I learned too, babe? It records. So it saves to my thing for like, I think 30 days. And I can also download it like, so I can take this and download it and use it somewhere else. Like, so I ain't talking my health. But yeah, so no, we real cool, like chill people. It's just like when you have those, for me, yeah, because I'm going to be able to use this. When you have your like, I don't know. It say, yeah, people come in, people come, then they'll go. Sometimes they'll like stay in, sometimes they'll leave. But you know me, when I get to having a conversation, you know me, I just go. But, and I know the fact that it's recording, so I can still like upload it and stuff. Then yeah, it's still, then I'll still do what I need to do. No, not yet. I will soon, because I got the baby in this hand, the phone in this hand. So, but I'm almost done though. But yeah, so yeah, like, but when you like a spiritual person, like a truly spiritual person, like you called and you got to do all this, like a lot of times, like you're by yourself because don't nobody want to like, hear it when you got to tell them the truth for one. And for two, they rather go with the narrative of you crazy than, telling the truth and, dealing with they stuff, whatever they got to deal with. So on that note, I checked the live out again. I'll probably go ahead and make me like a little pre-recorded video when I get off of here and upload it soon enough. But for those who did dip in, dip out, like, I'm saying, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not on live for any particular reason. Like, I'm not like a worker or nothing like that. The spirit just told me to go live, so I did. So hopefully anything I said on here today, like it was for somebody, and yeah, I just did what I was told. Like, yeah, it was something else, to have to get on live. But I mean, it's cool, and I just was obedient. I did so. So like I said, it'll be saved. I'll upload it on our YouTube, and yeah, for those who are, or if anyone isn't here, then I could say good night, but I guess it's good morning. So, all right then. Hold on, little baby. Let me get off. What button do I have to press? Tap again to exit. All right. So let's see. In live. Okay. And now. There you go.